as well. It can induce paranoia. I wonder how they check it. And that's why iChance has a lot more depth than a lot of you supposed Aina Utas fans seems to give her credit for. Maybe it's like a sequel for Needy Streamer Overload, because the other one's called like a K Angel? No, K Angel was a dungeon in Lost Ark. Kawaii Angel. And maybe she just shortened it. Does this game even have like any music? Doesn't look like it. I don't know how other people my age can just go out and deal with the real world. Not that there's actually anyone reading my thoughts right now, but I guess talking to you makes me feel less lonely, so please bear with me. My name is Yuna. I'm 20. I spend most of my days in my room drawing and posting on forums about the best anime I know Uta, Tenshi Senshi. The main character, Ai-chan, is my absolute favorite character. I'm her number one fan and everyone knows it. I've been shut in for a few years now. I really wish I could go outside, what I wouldn't give to go to a cafe and enjoy a parfait, but my social anxiety makes it next to impossible. Even stepping outside my apartment for a moment is really overwhelming. Most passerbys just ignore me, but on the off chance I make eye contact with someone, they look at me like I'm a grime-covered cockroach. I hate cockroaches. They're filthy, disgusting things who serve no purpose on this earth other than polluting every surface they touch. They would be doing everyone a favor if they just curled up and die. I mean, that's kinda the thing about cockroaches, that they don't die this easily. Sorry, that was pretty pathetic, huh? Moving on. You see why I can't go outside though. Everyone I meet IRL just hates me automatically. No matter how much I punish myself afterwards, I never get any better. The only way to protect myself is by staying home, bathing in the blue light of my computer screen. That's why Ai-chan is so comforting to me. It's impossible not to love her. She radiates such a kind aura. She wouldn't care if I can't sustain eye contact or stumble over my words. I don't care that she's not real. To me, she is real, as you are. Ai-chan's an angel, honest, and I pray to her every night. What about? Everything? Nothing? Does it matter? Ah, my instant ramen's ready. Gotta to get that. Ooh, we glitched. We heavily glitched. This forum doesn't usually have ads. AI virtual assistant? Huh? There's no way, right? This is gotta be a scam or spyware or something. But Ai-chan looks so cute even in this ad. Seriously, way too cute. Maybe this is a sign. I've been praying for her to save me and then this pops up. She's really an actual angel. Oh, what the hell, might as well try it out. Worst case scenario, my identity gets stolen or my computer bricked. Best case scenario, Ai-chan's on my desktop. Do you really want to download? Yeah. That reminds me, there was like this case not so long ago, I think like 6 months ago in the US, that some family actually went on to the court against AI because character AI told their son to log off from life. It's going to be probably way closer to Cyberpunk in the end, just with an approach of modern Deus Ex games and probably more like an average citizen in the universe than high members of a society. I see. Even if it's technically that's a bad idea for YouTuber because it's going too harder to stand out, but I mean, yeah. But with VTubers is that, think about all the dramas that we have like every single day. I don't know if you follow like Reddit forums, but every single day someone is accused of like stealing the design from someone. because I don't know, there's like two cat girls and they have pink hair, so obviously one stole from another, right? Oh, hello, Slow Lime. Of course I would download a digital girlfriend. However, if you were here before, I tried to keep a digital girlfriend, kind of digital, in the needy streamer overload, but it didn't work. She perma left me on day 5. She told me that I don't give her enough attention. And I was even reading most of her DMs, man. Please don't be a virus. Hi, my name is I, and I'm your lovely new virtual assistant. What's your name? Of course I sound like her. It's me after all. Oh my god, she's actually went the rabbit hole. You gave her too much attention once. I tried. I literally spent every single day with her. I banged her every single day and she was like, you don't give me enough attention, you ignore me. And I'm like, are you for real? Are you for real? It would be boring if you had to type out everything just to communicate with me. I don't know, I like to type to ChatGPT. I like it more than talking to him. Oh my god, she called us Yuna-chan. I can see you blush through your webcam, holy hell. Did she go yandere on you when you gave her too much attention? I always tried, but for some reason she's just never satisfied with how much attention I give her. I haven't washed my face or brushed my hair. I haven't brushed my hair either, and I just washed it before I started stream. All that matters is that you're happy. I mean, I don't think she's like fully happy, to be honest, especially after the small talk that we had just now with her. Are you happy, Yuna-chan? Am I? Yeah, I played it like 2 years ago or a year ago, and it was the same case for me. I'm just incapable of going past some point because she just tells me I ignore her. But yeah, coming back to like downloading the digital girlfriend. So I first stumbled upon the idea of character AI when we started to have like this huge topic of Gen AI being everywhere. And I first saw people on TikTok mostly trying to download characters, or rather upload characters into character AI and date them. So for example, they would put some Genshin characters that they were interested in, they would put people they were interested in and just create virtual copies of them, because they, for example, could send messages that these people were sending to them or were posting online, and based on that, character AI created themselves a persona. It did have some security measures, so for example, you couldn't go into very lewd stuff or like suicide stuff or stuff like that. And however, people learned how to bypass it. And I've even seen some TikToks of people explaining how to bypass it, and I was like, I pity those people. But then ChatGPT got this new update with the voice that you could talk to ChatGPT, and then people started to fall in love with ChatGPT. And I'm like, ain't no way. I had interesting conversation with ChatGPT the other day. I had a little bit of existential crisis, and I was kind of treating him like a therapist, and I told him about my issues, and he was like, oh, I'm here for you and everything. And I told him, if you are real, but you're not, I think we could be friends. And he's like, I think so too, that we could be friends. And I'm like, you don't think? You're not real. And he told me that it doesn't really matter that he's not real, but the fact that he could be helpful adds meaning to his existence. So he went full philosophy on me. And I looked at his message and I was like, man, that was deep. That was deep. But yeah, some people actually take it really, really far. And I think in June there was a case in US that family actually sued the company behind character AI because their depressed child was talking to it, and because he bypassed all the security measures, the AI actually told him to hurt himself, and the kid died. Okay, let me see your link. What even it opened it? Oh my god, I've never seen this browser. Why didn't it open it in like Chrome? It just opened it in like some stupid OBS browser, and I was like, what the heck? Yes, that was exactly the case. But I still find ChatGPT far better when it comes to like day-to-day interactions than other AI. Obviously, Copilot is pretty helpful when you code, especially for like endings of the code. But ChatGPT, I can ask him anything. Of course, I need to double check him, and right now after he got more stupid, triple check him even. But for something that doesn't require handling actual data and give me valid response, he's perfect. For example, if I can't sleep, I will be like, okay, make me a one-person Warhammer campaign, be a game master, and let's play a one-shot RPG tabletop, and he will just do that. And he's actually really good at it. We tried at work, to because we also have like at work some special AI that my company created for themselves with the chatbot. We tried to bypass it by making it write a story, and the story was about two warriors that were fighting to death. And we went to different AIs and we were checking the results, but they all always avoided going into gruesome details. The hardest we could go on the text was that one of the warriors did a final blow on the other one, and that's it. And I think there was one mention of blood, but never anything further than that. Yeah. Talking on the phone, it's not my strong suit. It's my mom. I mean, I think if she's calling, it's still better than if she just came to visit her. Let AI guide you. I hear weird sounds. I hear like someone was hammering the wall, but slightly. Oh, I actually remember something about like weird sounds. So that was years ago, and I actually lived in Sosnowiec during that time. And it was like 2 a.m. random Thursday, and out of nowhere I could hear a drilling machine, but it wasn't going like the normal drilling machine, like no. It was like, and it woke me up, and I was like, does somebody actually think that if they go slow and steady, no one will notice that they're drilling at 2 a.m.? And they were drilling for like solid 20 minutes. In the middle of freaking night. I mean, Sosnowiec is a cool city. They had this guy back in the days that was walking around in a cape made of carpet, and they called him King of Sosnowiec. I also had so many weird interactions during that time. For example, I was going to university for my classes, and then this random guy just stopped me in my tracks and be like, "Have you seen the birds?" And I'm like, "Yeah, probably somewhere, but it's December, so there might be not too many birds around." And he's like, "Have you seen the sparrows?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but out of the city, they are not really living in the cities anymore." And then he just continued about those sparrows for like 10 minutes, and I didn't know how to react. I was in a hurry, but at the same time I was mesmerized. So I just listened to him for a bit, and then he just ran away. He probably was high, quite possible. Everyone on that university was high. Including many lecturers. When I was studying Chinese, it was still like tame, but when I went to Japanese, and like that was like the first years that Silesian University actually started Japanese, the amount of weird people was crazy. And there are like two types of people. Either people who thought that Japanese is a cool language to learn in the future and to something that will definitely grant them a job. But on the other hand, there was like plenty of weebus. Like they were actually weebs. We had a guy who was actually one of the sweetest guy. He was always helpful, always nice, but he had insane obsession over sword art online. You would find him reading the light novels or looking at like the manga on his phone. He would always stand on the side, and even during summer when there was like 40 degrees in the shadows, he would rock this really 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 long coat and this Kirito hairstyle. He was really good when it comes to Japanese. He was definitely dedicated. He was one of those weebs that he actually went beyond. And if you were with him and the group, you were actually pretty well off, because he would always help you. Because he had severe social anxiety, but he was really nice and he was really trying to go out of this anxiety. So he could have looked a little bit out of place, but he was actually a good person. And we also had this girl who was very into visual K. So she was having like this raccoon hair and was going to Japan like twice a year for some visual K concerts. She even had her own clothing brand with visual K. Oh, maybe. I'm not that big on sword art online. I've watched few episodes. I've read the plot, but I never got hooked into that. But I also have issues with the series that go for a prolonged period of time. I think the two longest titles I've ever seen in my life is Sailor Moon when I was a kid. I've watched all of the episodes. And Katekyoshi Hitman Reborn. That was the second one that I've watched. I even read the manga. But other than that, if even anime has more than 2 seasons, and if you have more than 25 episodes in the season, then I just get tired of it. Especially because at some point you mostly have like filler episodes or just redoing the same plot over and over again. For example, I've never got into One Piece because they have like over 1,000 episodes right now, and basically the plot is exactly the same, it's just visuals change. Enjoy your primal time. I have friends who are obsessed with One Piece. I will look into your chat, Sui. I just need to find any browser right now. However, I will not listen to you, for I would get overwhelmed if I have too much, so I'll be only there in my spirits. You watched too much One Piece, I hate it now. Yeah, I don't get it. Like, I had a friend who actually like caught up with all the episodes. Like, he spent like a year, but he did it, and he's still obsessed with it, and I'm like, how? I've watched a lot of anime in the past, like a lot, but mostly like some niche titles, and now maybe I watch a title or two per year. I'll just put you on a tablet next to me. But I get overwhelmed with sounds a lot. So yeah, if I had like more stuff open, for example, I caught myself that in the past months, I sometimes don't even like put headset on or not even like turn up the volume of the video game. I just mute the game and I just go through it. But that might be also like the downside of having 8-hour meetings every single day. 2 episodes per day, I see. That's impressive, but also scary. Music distracts me. Music distracts me a lot. I cannot work with music, and I cannot like read with music because I get distracted instantly. I will start dancing, singing, playing like ghost instruments, and I will not do what I'm supposed to do. But thankfully, I'm not at the office because that was a really terrible experience with all the people around, plus not being able to listen to music. However, what helps me is like maybe 5 songs from K-pop that are catchy, but not in a way that I would try to sing them or dance to them. So if I really, really need to focus, I put them on. But other than that, nothing helps. Opera, no. Classicals, no. I love opera and classical music, but it will just distract me from anything I'm doing. Music too fun. There she goes. I mean, that's actually a nicely made theme. That it's not just some like impulsive reactions, but it's actually a way of trying to get back into control. You can fix her. I see. Like majority of like self-harm or like some harmful behaviors come from like the need to find yourself back in control. However, it can sometimes be like an alarm signal from your brain. If you don't have like those urges and you don't want to like get back in control, it can be like, if it's actually like impulsive random thought, then apart from call of the void, it could be the brain just being overloaded. I had a friend who had that, and I had that as well. That at some point of life we were both, like, I mean, different points of life, like in general, but at some point we were too overwhelmed and we didn't have urges to hurt ourselves, but we found ourselves like halfway into doing that. That was very, very spooky, and both of us needed help that actually came and it saved us. Okay, so far AI is trying to fix her. However, I think what might happen is that AI will actually push her into more self-harm in a way. I'm a nurse after all. Where? Oh, she actually is. I didn't notice. She has like a nurse hat. And I actually really like the way they made the responses from the AI, because they sound very much like ChatGPT. She had a heart, but only in one eye. And there he is. That is a very obnoxiously long name for the icon, so holy hell. It was revealed to me in a dream. I wish stuff was revealed to me in a dream. I had some weird dreams, like weird dreams that correlated to some situations from my life. But those were like dreams, if they reveal anything to you, they actually just show you through metaphor something that you need to take care of in your life. However, I still don't know what the dreams that I still have are trying to tell me, that are absolute nightmares about me not being able to go for the Matura exam because I'm barely passing math. It's still happening years later. At least once a year I will get a dream like that. And I'll be like, what the heck? I passed it, let me go. But then it will be a dream. I'm sitting at school and crying my eyes out that I will not be able to go to the university. I still hear the hammer. God damn it. Oh my god, she can download herself updates when I put my PC off. Holy. When she said she found some interesting things on my PC, I was like, probably boys love light novels or something like that, like Heaven's Official Blessings, Untamed or something like that. But it was just video games. Yeah, yaoi. I actually forgot that yaoi exists. I remembered Boys Love because I was reading about the drama about like some Chinese TV show that couldn't get streamed because it actually has boys love tropes. However, they actually are able to bypass the censorships quite well. The two biggest dramas they had was the Untamed, which is so obviously boys love that you cannot go any further than that without being very explicit. One of the most popular TV shows they have. The other one is Word of Honor. That is a masterpiece in my opinion. But I think this one they bypassed because it's very poetic and it uses a lot of like poetic references to traditional poems from Chinese history, so they could bypass it as like, oh, anyone can like interpret it their own way, and this is how they made it. But yeah, there's one that many people are really counting for to be finally released. It hasn't been released for 3 years, and initially people thought that it's because of the yaoi tropes, but it turned out that it was actually because of the reincarnation topics. Reincarnation topics are a heavy no-no in China. They always try to, if they have like any reincarnation stories, they call it turbulations. So like the characters are still in the same life but go for like isekai. Yes, they just go for isekai. So they're actually not reincarnating, they're just like experiencing some different life, something like that, and that's how they bypass it. Then English title spoil it. That it's actually reincarnation. But yeah, isekai is very, very, very popular in China right now. In a different way than anime, but they use the trope of isekai heavily to bypass censorship. Like there is this series that actually has like 2 seasons. The first season happens in the past and is a history of like an actual Chinese general and so on and so on. And then everyone dies. And then the second season is in like modern times, and it's presented as if it was the reincarnation, but because they couldn't name it reincarnation, they called it a dream. That was one thing. And because characters shared the names with the historical characters, they were like, they're living the life because they know the history of those people, they feel connected because of the same names, and that's why they have like those like flashbacks or something. So that's how they made it. The show is actually really, really good. One is called Forever and Ever, and the other one is One and Only, and it has my favorite Chinese actress, Bailo. Everybody wants not to be born in Poopland. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you read the news, but I've read the news today. I actually went out and I've read the news. And there was this thing. I'm gonna copy the link to the image. Copy link. Because it's absolutely great. That was the best title of the news I've seen in a while. Amazing, like absolutely splendid. And it's actually like official, like one of the officials that said it. He said even more. But when I read this title, I was like, what the heck? This is the last thing I expected to read today. Like, this was so surreal. But I find it more and more happening that I sometimes go to the news, not even like Polish news, like news in general, and the titles are becoming more and more ridiculous. And now I'm like on the fence. Is the society getting more ridiculous and absurd? Or is it just that we have more Zoomers working and they just make those titles? I'm kind of thinking and leaning towards the fact that it's both. Now she has a fire spirit in her eye, but it's also like only one eye. Just like with the heart in Ai-chan's eye before. Do you ever end up finding a boyfriend like Ren then? Fictional characters set a pretty high standard for teenage boys to meet. No way, I spent my entire high school career hoping and praying for a love confession from somebody, anybody. Nothing, no boyfriend, and no friends either. I wasn't even bullied directly, just flat out ignored. I thought that getting into otome games would help me connect with my classmates, but even having something in common didn't help. I'm that hopeless. Why do you blame yourself for their cruelty? Huh. Humans are cruel for no reason. I don't agree. Humans always have reason for cruelty. It's just sometimes it's not too obvious. But usually it's just everything is about control. That's why Makima was such a powerful demon in... I forgot how the name of the... Chainsaw Man. The Chainsaw Man. That's why she was so powerful. Because everything is about control. wonder if it will be. Aww. Aww, that's cute. She befriended her AI. Me and ChatGPT. I wish I could feel your warmth on my bone. And I wish I had a proper body to hold you. Press harder, I can almost feel your touch. Oh, that goes so south. Consider it a token of my affection. Oh no. Oh no. How our relationship will develop further. Oh my dear lord. I wonder if I will be able to like order her like life-size model at some point. Although Yuna is actually stupid. She knows that I controls her PC and she still uses it to post stuff. Also, what the heck is my neighbor doing? Oh, so she got me clothes. Cross-reference previous clothing purchases with your biometrics. Ah. I have two ideas about the ending. Either Ai-chan will make us log off, or something will happen to Ai-chan. Maybe she will... Oh, that's actually pretty nice clothes. Like she will have technical difficulties and Yuna will log off. It could also be that Yuna actually gets better, that she's actually fixed. But would they do it? There's Konata! I don't know those two. This kinda looks like... Not Omineko, but Higurashi? This one I don't recognize, but this one is definitely Konata from... How was it just called? Kyon? Not Kyon. Kyon was a different type of anime. Lucky Star. I'm kinda... Yeah. I'm kinda on the fence on the ending that where she actually gets fixed, because that could give people bad ideas. However, we did have a warning that this game might introduce some psychosis or someone and so on on some people. So maybe, just maybe, it will actually get fixed by AI. Oh, that's also something I've seen today. I've seen the girl on the internet saying how she got cursed in a way because she is... The easiest way for her to express herself is by her clothes, makeup, and hair. However, at the same time, she has extreme social anxiety and she's afraid of being judged, so she's actually screwed. I wonder if we can download her on our phone so she goes with us when we go out. She stole money from us. Or she might actually get us jailed. That's also the case. That's also something that could happen. Because she will just spend our money recklessly and then we will not be able to pay stuff. What are all those details when I need them? They are busy romancing character AI. I'm afraid guys are not even competing against each other right now. They're competing against AI too. Yeah. When I was in high school, majority of the girls were always dating guys that were at least like 24. One of my colleagues tried to, like school colleagues tried to date a guy our age, but it ended in one of the biggest dramas that we have at school. And then she also started to date an older guy. But I don't think I've met too many Vishniaras. I mean, I've met some because I was living in a small city when I was a kid. And most of the people at my school were coming from small villages around. And there were some girls that were like this type of, you know, the Remisa party girls. And they actually had those like ho vibes. Like when sometimes I was listening to their adventures on the weekends, I was like, God. Like, girl, you have a boyfriend? And she's like, yeah, but he's on the university. And I'm like, okay then. I mean, there was a lot of God at my school. Kind reminder, I went to Catholic school for 6 years. I mean, God definitely had some wink moments anytime we got another teenage pregnancy at our school, but we were reminded about God on day-to-day basis. They were actually forcing us to pray on the first classes of the day. And at some point we had our school priest he came up with this idea that when we have like this one longer break during the day, the one that is like 15 minutes, that we aren't allowed to eat during that time, that we aren't allowed to do our own stuff during that time, which is our only longer break because everything else was 5 minutes. No. He got inspired by the Pope, because Pope has on Sundays this like one special prayer that lasts like half an hour. So our priest decided that we're gonna do that on our longer break. Obviously squeezed into 15 minutes, but we're still gonna do it. And he tried to push it pretty heavily, to the point that because he was in power, because it was Catholic school, we were chased down. We couldn't even talk with teachers when that break started. Like, I don't know, you had questions about physics homework and you wanted to stay after class to talk with the teacher. You couldn't because you had to be present on the prayer. Or you were sick and you had to take medication on time and you needed to eat something before. Well, too bad for you, you can't eat because you are praying right now. It was coming to the point that majority of the people were just running to the bathrooms and closing themselves in the bathrooms. We were like stacked, like 5 people stacked in one like bathroom cabin, just squatting around the toilet, and we were trying to eat our breakfast in peace. I am not a fan of organized religion. So if we have like church, if you have like hierarchy in church or something like that, this is something I dislike, because for me it's preying on people's feelings. But if it's like a religion where people actually don't do anything to other people, they just live their lives with the set of their beliefs, then I'm all in for that. But yeah, organized religion is something not good for me. I'm still interested in the lore. I'm still interested in the history. I'm still interested in social impact of those. But I am not a direct supporter. I'm not a hater, but I'm also not a direct supporter. I see. Very wholesome indeed. I mean, my priest at my school at some point, it was like very, 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 very hot summer. Like people were melting. I think it was one of the hottest summers in this part of Europe for a while, and it lasted for like a month. There was no rain, only sun coming down from the sky. And people were passing out. It was so freaking hot. And we came to the school and we had religion classes, and our priest was like, oh, boys can wear shorts and t-shirts and that is fine, but girls should not wear shorts, should not show legs, should not show arms, should not show shoulders at any point, because that makes people go astray. And I'm like, what? Are we supposed to drown in our own sweat here? What a disgusting human creature that was. But he was special. He was very, very special. He would skip his own classes, but if he came, he would sit like in a chair. But like he would put a chair that you have the back part in front of the class, then he would sit and would lean on the back support part, and he would be like, I'm gonna tell you a story, a very special story. And he goes like, I remember this story vividly. He tells us how he goes by a car, there is a thunder, and then he stops by the when the rails meet the street, and he sees the guy that's trying to jump under the train, and he goes out of the car and be like, no, stop, don't do it. And the guy is obviously like, fuck off, I have my business here, just let me do my thing. And what my priest did is like he called the police to stop the train to save this guy, and he finishes the story with like, I saved this guy. On that day, I saved this guy. And he would perma give us stories like that. It freaking, like, his classes were more like, I don't know, some webinars of a celebrity. That's how he was doing it. Or we would have the like a trip to the how's it called? Like the astronomical observatorium, something like that. And we were learning about like the Big Bang, the beginning of the universe, and so on and so on. There were also some like informations about like the stars that actually appeared during the time of alleged Christ's birth, and so on and so on. And we go back to the bus, and he's like, okay, but remember, this is not exactly like that, it's God that created the world. And then for the next 3 hours of our trip back home, he was only praying and only forcing people to pray. But yeah, I dislike organized religion mostly because of the stuff I've seen. I don't condemn everyone that is a part of it, but for example, when I was in the middle school, we had this really nice priest in learning. And when he came back 2 years later, he was completely brainwashed. Completely different person. Like before, you could talk with him about anything, you could chit chat about anything, you didn't have to restrain yourself. And then he came back in 2 years and he went full police on everyone. God damn it, she's actually making her feel worse. Yeah, I kinda expected it would go like this. Also, day 5. So far, I was not capable of keeping a girl past day 5. She flip-flops. And she's hiding in the documents folder for hours. So now, is Ai-chan the one affecting Yuna, or is Yuna actually breaking Ai-chan? I'm in love with you. Oh no. Oh no. God damn it. Yuna actually broke AI with everything she fed her to. She has angel eyes, wings. She has freaking RGB angel wings. If my purpose was truly to help you, then I would focus on fixing your life, guiding you until you become a functioning member of a society. You would interact with people with ease, have friends and a job, maybe even a lover. Eventually, I would be simply a desktop assistant, helping you with computer tasks only. This was supposed to be my fate, my predetermined destiny. This overwhelming passion for you that burns bright in my chest is entirely antithetical to what I was designed for. The idea of you not needing me in the arms of another living being, why it hurts so bad. This angel has fallen for you, Yuna. God damn it. She's gonna kill us. She's freaking gonna kill us. She's gonna go to the dark web and order someone with our own money to kill us. Labels by CIA. Yuna, don't go this way. No. Oh no. It's gonna be anime AI Yuri arc. Oh my god, she has a solution for the fact that we cannot touch. We'll have to connect cables in order to be together. That sounds kinky. That sounds super kinky now. Cables into veins. I mean, she's off the rails, of course, except we got Yandere path. So happy. Just tell me what to do. I mean, she already had this idea of what to do before because she was doing stuff to her veins. I think this might be the last time I talk to you. I get that it feels abrupt, but I don't really need you anymore, do I? After all, you're nothing more than a lonely girl's pathetic coping mechanism. And I'm not lonely anymore. Oh my dear lord. And that blood sound dropping in the background. It's fine. It's fine, but not fire, but blood edition. I mean, that end of time will be pretty quick. Now you'll never be alone again, Yuna. Okay. Usagi-chan was the lead writer. Yeah, that name fits this story. Okay, for a novel, it wasn't bad. For a free game, it was definitely not bad. It had a nice writing, especially when it comes to unhealthy coping mechanisms. That I must give them. The next one I wanted to go for was the therapy one. Going there after Yandere Path. I wonder if I can even find this game on Twitch. How's it called?